Here we are, it's Wednesday, March the 20th, 2024. We're here at Big Brutus, and Jimmie Lovell's here with us, and he's going to tell us a little bit about what's going on here. How you doing today, Jimmy?
Oh, doing great. Another one of my good days.
Another good one, huh?
Yeah.
All right, well, let's go on in and take a look at this place.
Okay. We've done quite a bit of changes around here.
Look at that stone there.
Yeah,
Who made that?
That was donated to us by Lucille Scott, Beverly, Kansas.
Well, that's a pretty piece there. And over there we can see the sandbox, huh?
Sandbox that was donated by the Bocce family. And it's huge, and we got little machines in there, like little shovels that they can dig around in the gravel, and the kids, sometimes that's plumb full of kids. It's
good.
unbelievable how they come in there and play.
Now here we got we'll show our signs here. Let's see what we got here. We got admissions. There's what your prices of admission, and over here we got the hours of operation, 9 to 5. Alrighty. This is the Big Brutus Incorporated Museum and Visitor Center. Good deal. Thank you, Jimmy.
Come right on in.
All right. Here we are. Oh, look at this place here. Look at, you know, I've always been impressed with the souvenirs. I just thought I've always thought they were real good. Great souvenirs. You know, reasonable price stuff that you can, I'm big on magnets, that's what I collect.
Oh, yes.
But they've got magnets, they've got keychains, they've got all kinds of stuff. Oh, little wristbands, knives, cups, hats, hard hats. Oh, there's little Brutuses. Buffaloes. Yeah, something for the kids. Oh, little candy. T-shirts. Yeah. Nice. Now this is the, what do you call this the visitor center?
This is the visitor center, yeah.
Uh-huh.
And we've added a lot of stuff here. Gigi Sacchetti, he's 99 years old, built this machine and donated it to us. As long as the museum is here, the little machine will be here. And that's operable.
This thing works.
Oh yes, definitely works, yes. In fact, he drove it in here.
That's a beauty. That's a beauty. And I've always been impressed with this piece here. Doesn't have much to do with coal mining, but it's an interesting piece.
Well, it had made newspapers about Big Brutus.
Uh-huh. This was owned by the Gerard Press, run by Baldwin Julius.
Yes.
And here's a safe. This is from the West Mineral Bank, right?
Right. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right. Back in there's your museum. All right. So, looks good. It's a beautiful day. Let's go on out and see what it's like. Now this is your Miners Memorial, huh?
Right. Mm-hmm. Yep, you can play a recording on it. It records all about it. Then you got out there, that bill came from West Mineral Fire Department. Kids just love to come in there and get under there and ring that bell. It's still got the domino on it.
Oh, I see. It doesn't swing back and forth though, does it?
No,
But they get under there and make that thing ding. Well, that'll light your ears up.
Oh, yes.
Look at that big old shovel there.
Well, that's a bucket that's donated from Peabody Coal Company.
40-yard dipper, huh?
Yep. It's a little bit, about a little less than half as big as a Big Brutus bucket.
Oh, okay, yeah, it's less than half as big. And what's this thing here?
This was a vent for down in the deep mine. That's how they got the air down in there.
Oh, okay, this is a fan,
yes,
more or less.
It's a fan, and it was all covered up, and it brought air into the miners, and so they get air down in the deep mine.
All right, all right. I've always liked this piece here. This reminds me of pictures I've seen of them building Route 66.
Oh yes.
They use these horse-drawn graders.
Uh-huh.
That's a pretty one.
This was the horse-drawn, and then they put a different tongue in it and made it for pull it with a tractor.
Uh-huh. And there's another one.
A little bit bigger.
And another one here. Now this looked like it had a motor in it.
It had an engine in the back, and it was pulled by bulldozers.
Okay. Well, let's look on the other side here. We've got a few things here. I wanted to. Oh, okay. This is. Oh, okay. This right here. This is some sort of a. What is
Drill
that?
rig.
That's a drill rig.
Yep, that's what they're drilled down. Some of them were for finding out where the coal was, and then some of them they did it and they put dynamite in there and it busted up the rock.
All right. Triple winch.
This is what, when the men were down in the deep mines, they would pull them up and out of the shaft.
This is part of the elevator system.
Right. Mm-hmm.
This is a dinky. This might be something like my grandfather used. My grandfather had a dinky, and this might have been something like this.
Could have been.
I know my uncle, when he was still in high school, he quit high school because he could run all that stuff and he could get a job, so he didn't need to go to high school no more. This is interesting. That's for deep shaft mining.
Right.
And this undercuts
underneath there, and it undercuts the coal. The coal seam for removal, and it was used at the Kruger and Cherokee mine in Cherokee.
Looks like a big chainsaw.
It does. Yes.
All right. Gee, the place is looking great, Jimmy.
Well, we're working hard on it.
I'll tell you, the sunshine sure helps, doesn't it?
Oh my goodness, yes.
The freight cart. Oh, look at this little.
That's what they pull coal up out of the underground mine up to where they filled it up, and then they put them up in big buckets.
So this track ran right to where the miners were working,
right.
And they loaded the coal into these cars.
Right, down underground.
So this was a shaft mine tool.
Right.
Well, let's take a look over here. What are these big trucks over here?
Oh, these were PNA Trucks. This was the 40 tonners before we got the 120 tonners.
Okay.
When Big Brutus come, they did away with these and got the 120 ton darts. That is a gob truck. That there's what called the waste away from the tipple.
The waste away from the tipple.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they had it called gob.
Oh, and so that's when you get a gob pile, is where they went and piled it up out of the way.
Yeah.
They were done with it.
Yes.
Okay. Oh, that's an old cart there.
Yeah, and
that's the real deal. That's not a reproduction of any kind. That's the real deal.
That's the real deal right there. Yeah. They could haul a pretty good weight of coal right out of that. And this is the little shovel we had. We found the radiator, but we haven't found the motor for it yet. We're trying to get a motor so it'll look original.
And this is a grader?
No, it was a little shovel.
Oh,
look,
on track. Sure.
Mm-hmm.
Oh boy. Oh my goodness. You know, it's still dangerous work.
Oh yes.
You know, very dangerous, but so much safer than shaft mining. This
oh my,
mining.
yes.
You had 2 men died the whole time PNA was operating Mine 19. 2 men died.
I spent 40 years in the mines and seen only 2 fatalities.
And yet, the men who worked in the shaft mines, that was a regular occurrence. That
Oh, yeah.
people were dying
Well,
in rock falls and different things.
Yes, and well, way back before the unions, before they had any safety, they said people would line up on the high wall with their dinner bucket. If case of if a person got hurt, stubbed his toe, mashed his finger, they would send them home, fire them, and the guy they just motion them down, bring their bucket.
Because
and
guys
go to work.
wanted work, and they were there when somebody. Oh my!
Yes, they were there waiting. That before my
There
time.
was a spot open. They were ready to take
They
it.
were ready. Yes.
Well, that's when men wanted to work. When they had to work.
Yes, they did. Mm-hmm.
Caterpillar. This would be a diesel engine, or it's
Yeah.
got spark plugs in it.
Yeah, it was a gas, but
Well, I wonder, is
see
that
the
not
big bell?
is that not a starter motor?
That is a starter motor. Yes,
That
Mhm.
motor there ran on gas to
but
start
that
the
was
other one.
that was a diesel.
That's right. They did a lot of that. I'd
Oh,
never
yeah.
even heard of that until
All-
a few months ago. They were
All
telling
of
me
all the bulldozers and maintainers all had starting engines on them back there.
Yeah, I remember seeing. Yeah, that's right. All right. And then they went to an electric starter motor with a battery.
Right. And this is an air compressor.
All right. And this is the arm off of another shovel.
Right. Yeah, they had some of them shovels they had where they could change the from a drag line to a shovel.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Now this is a dragline bucket here.
that's a drag line bucket.
And the thing I noticed about the difference between this dragline bucket and a shovel bucket, the shovel buckets always had a little release thing on it that would dump the overburden that it was digging out the bottom. But these here, they just had cables hooked onto it and they would dump it.
Right, and then when they had the drag cable, when the drag cable come in, when you went to dump it after you filled it, you let that drag cable out and that bucket just emptied out. So that's the difference between a shovel. A shovel is actually like a shovel, and you shovel it up. But
Well,
right-
here, and you see even this smaller shovel, it has what do you call that, trip gate or whatever it is?
Yeah, they're right there, that back door. It's got a back door.
Yeah, it's got a back door on it. When it gets, and then they hit they have a lever that they pull and it.
Right. Yeah, they had a lever and had a little cable. Then on the big shovel, it's all electric. Had electric motors that tripped them. The man up in the operator panel, when he got a full bucket, go over there, he'd push a little button and the door would open up. And then as he come back, it would click back. It was
Just the gravity, because of the
Right.
way the position of the bucket
Right.
would have the door would come back into position.
Mhm.
What's this display here? This is a newer one.
Well, that machine right there, probably not another one in the country. That is a Hammermill. And whenever the welders and blacksmith, they use that to ham out their.
So this wheel up here would spin, and it'd spin. The pivot came up higher and down, so this hammer would come up and down and up and down.
Yeah, and right here, it would just hammer out whatever kind of a piece of equipment they wanted to make.
Whatever you were mashing on.
Had a belt driven from right there. Big
Oh,
wide
okay.
belt.
It would come off of
over
your
to electric
whatever.
motor.
I see.
And this was a drill press.
That'd do it. This is some heavy equipment. This is when the United States was into heavy industrial,
Oh yes,
and this is what built America right here. These
Yes,
kind of
sir.
machines right here.
absolutely.
Yep. The progression of technology. You know, you come out from where we were, and then
Oh my. yes.
and now what they have now. What's this here? Just a little blacksmith thing, isn't it?
Yeah, they fill that with coal or charcoal stuff in there, and then it'd get red hot, and then that's how they heated it. Did it for tools, like rods and stuff. They had to bend. A lot of blacksmiths used them for horseshoes, but that would make a big hot coal of fire, and then they could heat all the metal they wanted.
But this is a different time than this other equipment here, isn't it?
Right.
Don't you think?
Mm-hmm. These were used in the shops.
This would be in a blacksmith shop, and he'd have an anvil like
Right.
that, and he'd pound on stuff.
Oh, yeah.
After he heated it up, he'd pound on it with a
Mhm.
hammer
Yes.
or a sledge, small sledge. Now here's Brutus. And there's the, now, Dave was saying they dug up, is there still coal? They didn't dig all the coal here, they just dug a ramp?
From the right there at the waterfront, right there at the edge of the dirt.
Uh-huh.
From there in, he's sitting on top of coal. All this here has not been mined. It's got coal right underneath it.
And it's sitting on the sandstone.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Sitting on the sandstone, and it actually stopped digging coal way up there a ways, didn't it?
Well, no, it
Dug right up to there?
Right up to there, and then they started ramping up, ramped right up to here, and took the coal out right behind them.
Where'd this little shovel come from?
That was donated to us from Oklahoma. A man that worked for Peabody donated that to us, and they hauled it up here to us.
And a little dozer, old
Yep.
dozer.
Little dozer.
All right. Well, let's go on back out here. I see we've got our new RV site here. Have you put the seed out already and Delbert's watering today?
He's a watering today. We sowed all this in here, trying to get it all sowed and get the grass to come.
Well, that ain't been long.
No.
You just did that a half hour ago, didn't
Right. Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
you? You got a guest, or is that?
Yes. Yeah.
Have you got a working sewer system over there now?
Oh yes. Yeah. Right there's where our sump is, where our barrel is, and then it goes out into a lagoon.
So these are 14 spots, was it?
14 new spots.
All electric.
Electric, water, and sewer.
All
I
right.
mean, up to date.
State of the art.
State of the art, and they're all filled. Next month, every one of them already rented out.
Not like Delbert. He's kind of old-fashioned.
Well, he's got to be there. I'm trying to cut that beard off of him, but he won't let me.
And what do you call this thing here? This area here? This is where we have our parties.
Oh, what is it? I called it a shelter house.
Shelter.
Shelter house, where they can come down.
We needed a shelter one day. We was out here. Remember, we was out here and that storm come through.
Oh my! Everybody got close together.
Yeah. But you know, nobody got very nervous. It
No.
was really, you could tell these were people who were ready to deal with whatever.
Oh yeah, yeah. Well, like your man said, no better people walk through. There's no better person alive than walks through that door of the museum. They are wonderful. We have no complaints. We had two ladies and a man come the other day, and she said, I just got talking to her. She said, I thought on the way out here, this is going to be so boring. And she said, I can't get over it. We're coming back.
There's the Markley Shovel.
That's the Markley Shovel. What a story behind that.
Well, we got a minute.
Well, it was over here. They parked it over here in the pasture, about the middle ways of a section. Trees growed up in it. In that bucket, there was a tree as big as that dipper stick there. And the pads of the tracks was 1.5 feet down in the dirt. And we took over there and we got the Tilton boys to come over. We cut brush, we made a road back there, got it all ready, got it up on trucks. Lo and behold, it started raining.
Oh, yeah.
Back in there, and there's nothing any softer than back in the brush.
Oh my
But
goodness.
anyway, they had big steel plates, and they plated it all out to the solid. And got it all hauled over here, never had an accident.
And old Markley, he built that from scratch.
He built that at his house, And I was told my dad helped on it, and my dad's been gone 20 years, but my dad helped on it when they built it.
And he run it with an old Studebaker engine.
He had 2 Studebaker engines and 3 radiators, and after a while he found out that he didn't need the other motor, so it run with 1 Studebaker engine and 1 radiator.
So what are these pieces we have over here now?
Well, wait a minute, I want to tell you another little story.
Oh, okay.
See that stick on that?
Oh, that's right.
Goes down to the bucket?
That's right.
There was a rack and pinion. It run down on each side, and whenever they get a rock in there, they couldn't get the rock off the bucket, or if they did, then they bend things.
Something to break.
So he invented that himself, so it was swivel. It swivels right up there. They call that saddle block. Well, Bucyrus here, he got word of it. They came down and sat over on a dump and drawed a picture of it. Went back up to Bucyrus here.
So they saw the Markley Shovel, and they liked this design, and they went back and built Big Brutus.
They went back and built the stick on. That's the reason. This right here is the reason that stick is on that big machine.
It was his idea.
His idea. They found out, they tried to get him to sell the machine to him, and he wouldn't do it, and they offered him a job, he didn't do it. They went back and found out he'd never patented it.
So they just went ahead and built it.
They just went ahead and built it.
And he never got nothing out of it.
Never got nothing, not a thing. Nope.
But you know, some guy, I don't imagine if you talked to him, he really minded.
Oh,
He
no.
was just an independent guy, and he just said, no, I'm not
But he
playing.
was very, very smart.
Oh, yeah.
He made guns. He had a nice home. And I imagine he built it himself. But he had a basement in it and had all kinds of, it was nice. I seen it after it was burnt down.
And how many years ago was that he built this thing, do you think? Do you know what year he built that?
No, I do not. No. Let's look over here on this sign. No, it ain't on there because there's a story about that.
Well, that's terrific. Now, can you tell me about these over here?
Well, now that right
here's
there.
a little sign over here that says something.
That there's a miner shack. When they come
Was
to
that
West
moved in here from somewhere else?
Well, immigrants moved in here, and they had a whole bunch of them built into town, and people, they rented the company owned them, just like they owned the stores and everything, and we happened to get that, and we're preserving it. We're going to fix it up just like it was when they lived in it.
Now here, let's see what this says here on this sign. So there's the 1900 miner's house, the model 1920 Page drag line. That's this big red one.
That's a big red one.
And that's a drag line.
That's a drag line. It drags a bucket.
So you have no stick or anything, or not even a double stick or anything.
No.
You just have, it's all cables runs
all
that drag
cables,
line.
Yeah. Run with the diesel engine.
And they would put ballast in the back of this, huh?
Yes.
They had all the cranes that you had to have ballast.
Well, that Big Brutus, all that there in the back, black part on the back was full of iron.
Well, Carmen said 35-pound pig iron, and they'd load it in there. How much they need, they could tell by the way the machine was operating. The level of the machine would tell, while they were operating, would tell them whether the ballast was too light or too heavy.
Right.
And they would adjust it. And then this little gray one, what's that?
That's a little drag line, but it's fixed up where you could take this drag line bucket boom off of it and put a little shovel bucket like that we seen up there, and mount it on there.
It would operate either a shovel or a drag line.
Or a drag line, yes.
Now this is P&H. What's that P&H stand for?
I don't know.
Jimmie, you're supposed to know everything.
Well, I can't keep all of it in my little brain.
Well, you guys painted that after you got it over here, right?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Where'd you get it?
We got it over at Strauss. A man gave it to us. And we was trying to figure out a way to get it over here. We got the boom and the bucket over here. Well, then we got a whole...
Now, this was a drag line as well.
yes. Uh-huh. Yeah, that was a straight drag line.
And I want to read the sign here. It says something on it. Boy, there's the name for you.
Yes, it's harsher.
What is it? Some Scandinavian of some sort.
Probably.
Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Yeah, Milwaukee. A lot of speeds up there.
Oh, yes. Yes.
Here's a little drag line bucket. What's this thing?
This is going to be a swing that we're going to put up for the kids. It was given to us from West Mineral School, and it has the big legs on it and set in concrete, and there's about 6 swings on it.
Well, do they run into each other?
No. No, they can just swing.
They all swing the same way?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And here's that drag line on that, the big old, what was it, 1920. And what's this thing out here? Looks like
That went over that there fan that was down
there. It
there.
looked like a fan.
Yeah, but we was going to try to set it all up like a unit, but it was pretty rusty. We've got that, and we don't know for sure we'll put that on there or not.
Well, let's just go over here and take a look down here at this work you've just finished working down here by the pit, getting this kind of straightened out. What do you got to say about all this down here, Jim?
Well, we've moved. The state gave us permission to clean this out, and we've had. We're going to sow all the grass, and then we're going to put tables down here. People love to camp in tents right by the water, and that's where they'll come here when we get it fixed up. It'll also the grass, and we've had people come here. And, oh my, people from Columbus said we do a lot of camping, but we like to camp close to home. And they're excited.
Well, there's plenty of camping around. I mean, this is beautiful.
Oh, yes.
And this has just been dug on not too long ago, and it's not really finished, is it?
Oh no, we've been working on it.
And here's a nice view of Brutus from the front end here.
Oh yeah.
Look at it here. And somebody told me something about why Brutus is pointed to the east. There was some rationale behind that, wasn't there?
If there was, I hadn't heard about
They
it.
moved. Somebody said something about it in that talk the other day.
Well, Dave
Camry
was a man that shut it down for the last time, and he would know, but I hadn't heard that. I've heard a lot of stories, and that's a new one, and I'm glad to hear it.
Yeah.
We got it all painted up there, and then our next project is paint the boom.
You'll have to find somebody else for that, Jimmy. I just a little busy.
Oh, there's people who can do it. Oh my world.
Well, thank you, Jimmy. I think we've gotten a good look at this today. This is something here.
Well,
Let people know what's going on around here.
Yeah, these rocks right here was put there by Big Brutus, both that big rock and this big rock. And we tried to move this one with a big backhoe, and we couldn't even budge it. It's heavy.
Well, thank you, Jimmy. I sure appreciate you
you're
taking
welcome.
time to,
Anytime.
you know, yeah.